is everyone today? This is Mark Fisher from the M.E. Fisher Funeral Home, and today we're going live. Something a little bit different. Coming out the holiday season, we've seen quite a bit of craziness go on in the last few days, and we need to get our minds wrapped around the right things to make sure that we don't lose track of our purpose and goals as we go into 2025. This year is too new and too fresh to be looking at it with a negative attitude starting out. Let's keep it real. So today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. Finding light in the darkness, faith and hope in a chaotic world. Yeah, that might be crazy coming from your funeral director, but I think it's something that we might need to talk about a little bit, because as we lose hope, our actions then change and they become very negative because we don't see a way out. And of course, we know that often leads to detrimental behavior, and it can send you right here to the funeral home. And we're not trying to roll like that. Nah, we need everyone to have a clear sense of thought, knowing how to deal with things as we go forward, so it can be a prosperous 2025. So everyone can look back as they reflect over this year and say, hey, may not have been everything I wanted it to be, but hey, we had a good time. Things really worked out good. You know, as we do. So I'm going to start out here with a few videos to show you a few things going on in the world with funeral service. Things that are different and strange. Things that are not normal. That's what I like to show you. The different things that people do across America, or across the world rather. He's posed on the weight bench at the gym. Imagine that at Planet Fitness. Okay, look how many people are there too. Interesting. Got quite a bit of weight on the bar. How do you think that would work here in America? Would you go? Look at the line. Look how long that line is. There may be 100 people in there viewing their body as he lays in repose at the gym on the weight bench. A little bit different. And of course, I do not. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I don't have an opinion on any of this. Just want to show you some different things that we see around the world as we scroll social media. Number 2. You see the king's chair. But look at the king. Standing up at his own service. I'm gonna let that roll one more time. Yeah. The whole funeral procession. Look at the people. Celebrating the life of the king. Standing up at your own funeral. As I say, if you want to do these things, let the embalmer know before the embalming takes place, because we're gonna have to do some special things, 6-point injections, things like that. And one day I'll get into an embalming episode and explain to you what's going to have to be done to make that happen. Because we have different forms of injection, single-point injection, multi-site injection. And you're going to need to do some multi-site injection to make that happen right there. Now I'm going to show you a third one. Then we're going to get into what we're going to talk about today. Not going to hold you long, maybe 15, 20 minutes, that's it. My question, who gonna pick the money up? Is that the GoFundMe for the Undertaker? And the Undertaker's supposed to jump in the casket and get the money? How does it work right here? Where does the money go? Again, no opinion. Just ways people want to celebrate the lives of their deceased. No opinion. But me at my age, I call it straight foolishness. It's entertainment. The things we do to celebrate life. We're gonna, as I said today, we're gonna get into finding light in the darkness, faith and hope in a chaotic world. Just go back in your mind 4 years ago today, January 6th. If you don't remember, we had what was called an insurrection. The Capitol building was charged on in America. Yeah, 4 years ago today. Crazy things have happened in America. Let's go back less than a week. Look at New Orleans, New Year's Eve. Craziness. The world is dark. People are being led by spirits inside them, and they're not understanding the consequences. And we as Americans, and not even Americans, anyone around the world, this is all over the world. It's just not here. We're people that take things to extremes and don't even care about what happens to human life. That's the scary part. Human life means nothing to no one anymore. And a lot of that comes because there's no hope. If you don't think things can get better, if you don't believe your life is going to change, you may do anything. Negativity sits in and it causes what we are seeing now. First thing you need to realize is there is a higher being. You can call it what you want to. God, Allah, Jah, Jehovah, whatever you want to call it. But we know that we don't bring the sun up every day, and we don't supply this oxygen that it requires for us to breathe every day either. And think about this. From the moment God said, let there be light, that same sun comes up every day. From the moment air was created, oxygen. We're breathing the same oxygen every day. It just goes through a cycle with the trees and the plants, and it goes from carbon monoxide back to oxygen. I mean, God did not create anything new. These things were created when he said, let there be. So one thing we need to realize is there's another being, another something that wakes us up, that causes the moon to come up, the sun to come up, and that cycle repeats itself every single day. Never does it not, and the solar system just go away. You never see that happen. So I'm gonna ask you a question. Have you experienced God's goodness recently? You make the answer. You answer. Yes, no, maybe, not sure, I don't know. I've been catching so much hell it doesn't even appear God is living. I've been there before to feel that. But no, God is there. If you woke up in your right mind, you may not have everything you want, but you have another opportunity to try to make it go forward. That's the important thing. You have another opportunity. It's all about going forward. We're going to talk a little bit about the noise of negativity. Constant exposure to negative news and social media can create an anxiety, a fear, and a hopelessness. We have to remember the job of the media. When you turn your 6 o'clock news on, 5 o'clock, whatever time you choose to look at it, CNN running 24/7, you're always going to see the negative story first. Why? Their job is to sell headlines and to get you to watch, to build ratings. Positive news doesn't really sell. Negativity draws every eye and ear in because people like that type of foolishness. So we got to be aware of the noise of negativity. It's like white noise. I told you I was a music major coming up. White noise, pink noise. If you're going to check your PA system, you can use pink noise. Why? It's a different frequency. You don't need these frequencies of white noise rattling in your brain and in your soul, causing you to act in a way that's not even human. The psychological impact of consuming bad news also skews your perspective on things. If you're always thinking negative, how are you going to see the positive? Let's keep it real. How does that work? So now if you're always seeing the negative, it's going to bring you down into a depression. Okay, notice how one thing is going to lead you into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more things. You need to set some boundaries, not only with your media consumption, with the people. Yeah, the people that you tend to gravitate to and who fill your spirit with things. Some people always bring negativity and foolishness to you. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. As I've told you, I'm 60 years old, and in these 6 decades of living, there are some people that come around me, and I swear my spirit just goes awry because they're not on the same vibrational level I'm on. Some people are always going to come and bring you negativity. As old folks say, if a dog bring a bone, he carry a bone. So if somebody comes in your face, always going to bring you some foolishness about something going on over there, you may need to cut them loose and let them go on over there, because your well-being and your mental wellness means so much more than dealing with that foolishness. Honestly, that foolishness that you see going on out here. A few practical tips. We're going to talk about limiting that screen time. Hey, I'm part of it too. Any time of the day, I may pick my cell phone up scrolling something because I feel as though I need some more knowledge or some more information. Don't probably need it at that moment, but that's just the inquisitive side of me wanting to learn or know something. You may need to engage in a few activities that uplift your spirit. Do something a bit different than what you've been doing. Yeah, read a book, take a walk, focus on your health, focus on your family. I mean, are you making sure your family's okay? Brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, aunts. I mean, it's more than you in this world. And if you just focus on yourself and things going on with you that's not working, come on, it's going to bring you into a depression. We've come through the holiday season, and that tends to be the hardest part of the year. I mean, emotions come up, thoughts come up. Go back to when you were a child at 10 years old and at Christmas. I mean, none of that makes a difference right now. Those are memories that made you who you are. But now, how do you create the new memories to take you where you need to go? You need to focus on some positive content or some inspirational content. Where do I find it? Anywhere. Turn your radio on. Take it off the R&B and put it on the gospel for a minute. You got XM radio? I mean, listen to one of your favorite ministers talk. I mean, it doesn't just have to be on Sunday sitting in somebody's church. Because as we all know, attendance in churches declined. After COVID, people didn't decide to go back to church. And talking about going to church, yeah. Spell it. C-H-U-R-C-H. It's funny how God put the U-R in the middle of the word. So I guess truthfully, you carry the church inside you. Your spirituality that you walk with is the body of Christ that you're walking with at that moment. So you ain't got to be in that building. Just make sure you keep your spirit right and you keep yourself focused on where you need to go. It's that easy. Make a few changes. Then you got to anchor yourself in that faith, because faith serves as a foundation in turbulent times. There are moments when you look up and don't know how you're going to make it, don't know what's going to go on, looks like the ceiling's caving in on you. That's when you have to know. Got a verse right here, Romans 15 and 13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him. Notice you have to trust in order to have that faith. And it's hard for us as human beings to believe in things and trust in things that we can't see. That's part of our problem. We've lost our spirituality. Once we know that there is a God, and if he woke you up, you're going to be okay. You know, the day's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't stress it. Yeah, hell may come to you, but come on. Didn't Jesus conquer it as well? Let's go to Psalm 46 and 1. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. So no matter what you're going through, it's not like God isn't aware. Jesus isn't here to help you. He's always here, ever present in trouble. Even when you have death in your family, and I'm speaking as a funeral director, I've lost both my parents and close family. Yeah, it hurts. But you have to get yourself together. Trust in God. Stand up and do what you have to do. And make the proper decisions to go on with life. It's just what it's all about. Going through things, not being taken around, going through. Only time character is really built or formed is when you go through something. Every time you go through it, it's going to build your character and make you a little bit stronger. Some ways to build your faith. Go to prayer. Talk to God. I don't know what to say. Talk to him like he's sitting right there in the room with you. Say, hey, God, hey, big dog, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Will you show me? If you knock, he will answer. You got to know that. Then you have to worship him. Don't be afraid to speak his name out loud and say, God, thank you for what you've done for me. God, I praise you for what you're doing for me. Read some scripture. Pick up the word and read it. You will become what you consume yourself with. If you read the word, you will then be drawn to the word, and you then will act more accordingly. If you like foolishness, go to the foolishness and watch more foolishness comes to you. I mean, it's that simple. Life is simple. It's about actions and consequences. For every action, it's going to be a consequence. It's just, what does God think you may have to have at that time? Brother Dwayne Jones, thank you for being here with me today. Thank you. Amen to you, my brother, for always being here to support us, to be a friend, a colleague. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. My brother, I decided to go a little different today, man, because we got to wake up. We got to wake up and make some things happen here a little bit differently. And we got to reflect on moments when God's goodness has carried us through our tough times, because you know we ain't made it by ourselves through these years. We have not done it. Yeah, we may have thought we did, but no, it wasn't us. If it were up to us, we'd have been dead decades ago. We're that ignorant. Because God knows we have more to do, more people to help. He has mercy on us. He teaches us so we can get better and go forward. Finding and holding on to hope. We have to do that. Hope is a confident expectation rooted in God's promises. Because we know where the promise comes from, we cannot lose hope because God cannot lie. Let's think of some examples of people or stories that embody hope in adversity. Let's go back to the other night. New Orleans. People celebrating a Happy New Year. A person loses his mind, takes 14 lives and injures a lot of other people. But if you watched CNN the following day, I cannot think of the brother's name, trombone player, he's doing a joint in New York right now. They interviewed him as he and his band were going down the street, and he's saying we're opening up Urban Street again. The resilience of the people. Yeah, expectation is not going to stay bad like this. It's going to get better. Hope empowers action. It brings resilience and positivity. That's why we don't want you to get to a point where you just don't see the good in nothing. You just think everything is bad. That's when we have the mass murderer jump out here and just act like a damn fool. Some practical ways to cultivate your hope. Journaling. I know we don't like to write. No, we don't like to write or read. That's one of our downfalls. My father used to say, I'm going to tell you what he used to say. You're going to think it's crazy. My daddy used to say, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. Well, he didn't use that word. He used another word that's kind of derogatory for 2025. But it's about truth. If you want to hide something from most of us, put it in a book. Because we ain't going to read nothing. But think about journaling. That emotion you're feeling, put it on paper. You read back over it later, you'll think about what made you feel that way and watch yourself get out of it. Seeking some support from the community. There are a lot of groups in the community. I'm not saying all groups are for you to go get help. Some are for you to go volunteer and give of your time. Because a lot of times when you give, you start forgetting about what you don't have. And you start feeling real good because you realize a lot of people are worse off than you. And if I can stop and help them, it's going to make me better. You got to focus on God's promises. Just focus on that. Don't focus on the bad thing, because what you focus on is what will come to you. What you fear the most will come to you. You keep on thinking you're going to have an accident. You watch you tear your car up and something happen foolish. Stop focusing on that foolishness and focus on the positive. Watch some things change for you in 2025. A call to gratitude and reflection. Sometimes if you realize how grateful you should be for some things, you'll stop acting like a doggone whatever you want to call it Just keep going forward. Keep pushing like you're pushing and watch things start to change. You got to pause and reflect on your blessings no matter how big or small they are. Number one, you woke up today. Joke we always say, you doggone don't want to wake up with the Undertaker looking down on you on that first call to you. Yeah, if you didn't wake up dead, not in the hospital, not in the jail cell, you have something to eat. You guys, it's not raining on you, snowed here in Virginia last night. You didn't stay out there in the snow. You're blessed. You're blessed. Because there were some people I imagine that did have to sleep out there as the snow came on them. Stop complaining. Life is not that bad. Yeah, you want it better. We all want things better. But take a moment and enjoy where you are now, right this moment. Some tips for practicing gratitude. Again, I'm going to say, keep a gratitude journal. Write it down. Talk it in your cell phone. Then look back and reflect over the past month. See the hurdles that you have climbed over. Thank someone who has positively impacted your life. Just give them a telephone call. Reach out. Hey, man, thank you for what you did for me back so-and-so. They may have forgotten all about it, but if it made you a better person and you can remember that, reach out to that individual and let them know. It'll brighten their day too. You gotta pray or meditate on God's provisions. Gotta have it. You gotta get your mind off that negative if you want to make it in 2025, because 2025 is going to be a different year. I'm going to predict that already. It's going to be different. You're going to see some things we may not have ever seen before. Don't trust the politics and don't listen to the news too much is all I'm going to say. The news has a way of slanting some things and making you have a totally different perception than what you need to have. Trust the word of God and keep going forward. Don't let the commentator, Donald Trump, or nobody else have you all askew. Don't care about Diddy, TD Jakes, none of that foolishness either. They gonna get what they gonna get. Worry about you, your life, and your family. Don't get consumed by negative headlines, but seek ways to contribute positively. Some ideas for spreading light in small ways. Go volunteer in your community. Go give an hour of your time. I don't know where to go. Go to Google. Go to Facebook. You find everything else you want to find in those places. Go there. Community service. Reach out to someone in need. Everybody knows somebody that needs something. If they just need some conversation, I ain't saying they need money. You got to go with $100 bill in your pocket. Some older people may just want your time. Just to call them for 10, 15 minutes. They may not have had a phone call from someone they cared in a year. Who knows? If you love that social media, share some uplifting messages on it sometime versus always chiming in on something that doesn't even pertain to you. I'm going to tell you something funny, personal story. A couple of weeks ago, our funeral home name was used in a post from a family in Michigan. Well, family in Michigan put a post up. Someone here locally tagged us to it. And the lady had a very bad experience at that funeral home named St. Fisher Funeral Home in Michigan. So once I saw it, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not me. So I replied to it. Asked her to please take the post down. Not knowing at that time she didn't put the tag up. The other person did. Man, people jumped down my throat saying how negative I was. But no, this lady said something had happened that if it were true, I'd lose my license and the state board to come shut me down. Most people agree, Mr. Fisher, you gotta always stand up for your business and what's right. You gotta get it straight. Yeah. And those people talk, man, they cussed me out, talk about me some kind of bad. You know what? Something my mama told me growing up, just because somebody put a microphone in front of your face don't mean you gotta talk. I didn't even respond to him no more. Once the lady messaged me and apologized, and I apologized to her if I hurt her feelings and what I said, I ain't had nothing else to say to the naysayers. So I'm getting now. So many people, over 4,500 people saw the post. Out of 4,500, about 8 or 9 people came at me just backlashing me because I'm defending my business. My question to them, in an open forum, And you can come on here and comment. I read the comments. Why did you care so much you had to come back at me because you're mad at what I said because this lady lied and slandered my business? What is going on in your lives that you care so much about another situation that you're going to stop, take time, and comment with a post? Why don't you get a life? See, when people do that, they could stop and share something positive and a whole different thing would change with it. Yeah. But, oh well, human nature. Human nature loves foolishness, but they do not like to be accurate. Remember, God's light shines brightest in the darkest moments. So at that moment when, it's just as chaotic as can be, it just appears like, oh, hell is breaking loose. No, you about at your breakthrough. You about there. Don't worry. You ain't got much longer to go. You're almost there. Just know God heard your prayers. It's going to be okay. Today, I want you to remember the noise of negativity. Cut it off, cut it loose, tell it goodbye. 25, we ain't rolling with you. I want you to anchor yourself in faith. I don't care who you call your God, the name, the religion. As long as you believe in some higher power and know that it is what's making things happen, you'll be all right. Finding and holding on to hope. Yeah, hold on to the hope. Just because breakthrough didn't come right this minute, don't let it go. Hold on. We want you to take time, journal some gratitude things and reflect on some things that have happened in your life. No, you didn't get here by yourself. You're not going to end right now. God has not left you or won't leave you. He's just taking you to the next level so you can be a better person. And when you got to confront the chaos, have a purpose. Don't just be out here running your mouth because you want to run your mouth and you're emotional. Sometimes nothing needs to be said. Only an action needs to be taken. So I'm asking everyone, let's take some action. Let's stop running our mouth, talking that foolish talk. Let's take some actions to make things work better for all of us. As in Isaiah 41:10, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. It's coming straight to I'm not a minister, I'm not a preacher. Just coming at you straight off Madison Avenue, your funeral director. Wanting to see some things get better in 2025. Wanting to see my community grow and my people grow. Want to see us stop being so damn emotional and responding with foolishness versus having some intellect, thinking, knowing that there is a God and things will be better so we can go forward. Again, Mark Fisher, Emmy Fisher Funeral Home. Told you won't keep you long. 29 minutes. I'm about to get out of here. Peace. We love you. Call us. Always know Emmy Fisher Funeral Home is here. The funeral home that serves the community where excellence is the standard.